await federal government intervention. My name is Kayode Adebayo. With me in the house today, I have my guest, Shola Ajiboye. You are welcome on the program.
Yeah, good afternoon, Kayode.
Yeah, you are welcome.
Pleasure to be here.
Thank you. Sheyi Adeniyi, you are also welcome on the program.
Thanks for having me. Good afternoon, viewers at home.
All right. Thank you very much. Now, let's start the program. The first topic, as I've said, countdown to the emergence of parties' presidential candidates, setting agenda for a new Nigeria. Shola, countdown to the emergence of parties' presidential candidates, setting what agenda you would like to set for the incoming parties' presidential candidates?
Well, the agenda will depend on a number of factors. The factors that influence their emergence.
Okay.
You know, the factors will determine the merit of the emergence. And whoever emerges will also dictate or determine what agenda is to be set for that kind of for the party that that picked the candidate, and ultimately for the nation if such a candidate emerge victorious at the popular election. So everything will depend on the way. I want to believe that party primaries should be a kind of a test case. As a matter of fact, it should be so developed that Nigerians will have a feel of what the quality of leaders that will eventually emerge. And I don't want to limit. Of course, I believe that all the political parties are involved in this thing. So whichever party is in the race should involve a kind of a primary election, a kind of a system that will throw up the best. The best in terms of competence, the best in terms of national thinking or focus, the best in terms of integrity, the best in terms of ability to deliver. So, ability to deliver, and that will depend on exposure, political exposure, the intellectual development. Or depthness of the so the agenda should center around development anyway. It should be a developmental agenda. And all the parties are in position now to determine what kind of development, what kind of political, social, and economic development they want to give to the nation.
Sheyi, now setting agenda for a new Nigeria, as we are counting down to the emergence of parties' presidential candidates. What manner of agenda would you like to set for these candidates?
I want to take it from this angle. We have many aspirants jostling up and down to become the president. And to be frank and to be honest, all those that have been moving around the states to canvass the delegates and the stakeholders, none of them has ever come out openly in a critical time and they want to rescue, because this nation need to be rescued as we are now. So none of them have ever come out to say, okay, this is what I will do. The only thing, the only talk or the only their usual way of telling us what cannot be achieved and the like. So, like Agbadepon said, that maybe certain agenda, though on a good, the agenda should be within the manifesto of the other political party, because the party has their own manifesto, how they want to go about it. But nevertheless, I want to believe that if we are able to have a very credible process that produce that kind of candidates, I think, and if we have, I want to believe all those that are just up and down to become the president, and we have some among them that has this mental and physical fitness and the likes to govern this state and to give this country and to give us good governance. So if that process will allow to have such individual to fly the flag of that political party, be it any political party or whatever, if we can have that kind of process to produce, I think we have a very good candidate to set that good agenda to rescue the country from this the situation we are presently. So if you have that kind of, but my fear, maybe you still get to that level, is this the money bags. So that is my submission for now.
All right. Now let's look at it this way, Shola. Now see this aspirant that are jostling for presidential ticket of their parties. They are not from Evans, and they are not coming from Benedict Grant. They are not outside the country. They have been living with us. They are Nigerians have been living in this country ever before now. Do we need to now begin to set agenda? Because it is expected that they should have known all the problems bedeviling the country. Do we need to be setting agenda again?
We need to set. Is it the nation? For instance, you as your professional, as, we are supposed to set agenda for the nation, for any group, for anybody. We are supposed to set agenda, irrespective of whatever agenda has been set. So, we need to set agenda for them, especially when you look at the situation of things in Nigeria today. Nigeria is in a very precarious political and economic situation. We all know that. Very precarious. So, I as a Nigerian will expect whoever wants to earn my votes and rule over me should be able to embrace some of those things that I desire. And of course, some of those things I desire will be part of the agenda. So, apart from the fact that we expect whoever wants to rule at any level of governance to have clear-cut agenda. Such clear-cut agenda must read the minds of Nigerians. They must read through the gamut, the essence of what we need. It does not stop Nigerians from setting agenda for them. And of course, part of the agenda will be, as a matter of fact, it is because the Nigerian political system has not developed to that level. Even our presidential system still has a lot to learn from America, where we said we copied it. There is this midterm election in America, whereby the incumbent will have his popularity, his image, and his capability to hold on, tested one way or the other. We don't have that here. So it is part of the agenda setting. If Nigerians must now evolve a way of calling into account, calling our leaders into account, and it should be. I think I want to advocate a constitutional amendment that will allow Nigerians to even question the tenureship of our leaders, even at the midterm. I mean, it should be part. If the president has to spend 4 years now constitutionally, the second year, Nigerians should be able to decipher, to find out, to assess the performance of that president, and even vote him out. I mean, impeach him one way or the other. So I think that should be part of the constitution, and that should be part of our agenda setting. If you want to spend 4 years, 2 years should be a test case to find out whether you can continue. So our agenda should not just be you want road, you want water. No. It is. We have always said that it is a statutory responsibility of anybody, of any government, to provide roads and water. I mean, it's not a thing that even. It's not a thing that any governor or any government or any president should even make any noise about. It is part. It is just. There's no. In fact, it's not a political issue at all. So our agenda should go beyond. You want water, you want good road. Our agenda should be, how do you grow the economy? I should be able to ask my president, how do you want to grow the economy to ensure that the national currency now exchanges now is now valued at 200 naira to $1. So that should be the agenda. How do you want to do it? What kind of economic, what kind of fiscal policy do you want to pursue in the next 4 years that will show up the value of the naira? What kind of economic policy do you want to pursue in the next 4 years that will ensure that the informal sector is strengthened in such a way that Nigeria will become an export-oriented economy, not import. So these are part of those things, those agenda the various political parties should work on and ensure that whoever is their candidate or are their candidates pursue. So it should be that there should be a roadmap. Every political party should have a roadmap to economic, social, and political development of Nigeria. That should be.
Now, Shay, if you want to set an agenda now, it is wanting to set agenda. It is another thing for whoever that emerges as a president to pursue that agenda. What would you like whoever emerges as president to pursue?
I think the first thing we need to get is that, like I said, that each political party has their own manifesto and how they want to run that particular government. But the most important thing as we speak now is the issue of the insecurity. It's not all that we have. This country is facing security challenges that need to be tackled. And I think that this particular issue was part of what the present government, the government of Buhari, leveraged on in 2015 when it was seeking the mandate of Nigerians. That even that they during their campaigns that Buhari is a general, so I know everything, he knows the crane of this country and understand that within few months that will flush all the evildoers out. But unfortunately, the reverse is the case today. So I think the first thing that any serious candidate or party should focus on is the issue of security. How they will secure this country from these attacks here and there. So that should be the most important thing. Before we now talk of revamping the economy, because as we speak today, our economy is in comatose. But we couldn't see anything because of the challenges. The number one challenge is the security challenge that we are facing. That is what is what we are facing. That's allowing from see other bad things that is going on. So the first thing that will be paramount, has been important that any political party that want to rule this country should focus on is this issue of security. How we want to tackle it, because this we need to work on it and to find solution to it's generating every day. Every day it's generating. We need to work on. The number one responsibility of any responsible government is to protect lives and property of the citizens. And this government, can we say he has been to achieve that? No. So that is to be the number one thing is the security issue, how to tackle it, how to fish out all those that are perpetrating these atrocities. That should be the number one thing.
All right, thank you, gentlemen. We'll now go on short break. We'll come back after this timeout. Please stay tuned.
Mondays through Fridays, 3:30 to 4:30 p.m. in the newsroom. You can't afford to miss it.
You are welcome back. Now to the second topic of our discussion for today. Buhari to killers. Expect toughest response. Shola, after about 7.5 years, the president is now issuing a threat that the killers, the bandits, the terrorists, they should expect toughest response. What's your take on this?
When you say toughest by simple English definition, or any definition, is the highest of any measure, of any action.
Okay.
So I know that Nigeria has been dealing with terrorists and hoodlums and all those things, security breaches all over the place, and it's been a long while. So I don't want to. I want to. I'm not. I'm yet to see what action have been taken to nip this in the bud. But if the president is now saying that there is the toughest action coming, well, I want to see what kind of toughest action he wants to take. It's just like the issue of approaching security and ensuring security has a lot, is a multidimensional thing, and it demands whatever measure, it demands proactiveness. That is the first rule in security. You have to be proactive. You have to think before your enemy. In fact, you have to even think for your enemy. You have to read the minds of your enemy and even project what it can do to you in the next 20 years. So those who fight terrorism, the American system, when they fight terrorism every minute, they don't even wait for the terrorists to strike. They envisage what he can do or what he will do, except everything. There are exceptions to the rule. Before a terrorist strike any American target, the American security system will know. And like I said, as long as the government is not proactive, I don't know what kind of action the president intends to take that will once and for all get rid of these terrorists. In the first instance, I have not heard of any proactive security surveillance on Sambisa, which is believed to be the biggest hideout of these terrorists. Over the years, I've not seen a major security shake-up in that vast area. So, well, maybe what the president is now saying, that the toughest action will. I'm just thinking aloud for the president. Maybe he's looking at a situation whereby the Sambisa will now be invaded and cordoned off, and then all the terrorists flushed out. I wouldn't know. But as Nigerians now hardly believe Mr. President, now hardly believe the government, it is because of serious failures on the part of government in actually checkmating the various security breaches we have been having. So, a lot of Nigerians will see that. What kind of toughest action now is being expected? Remember, the abductees or the abductors of the train tragedy are still there.
They are not coming to that.
So, maybe the toughest security, maybe the toughest action the president is promising will now also take care of that. I wouldn't know. But like I said, as long as government is still not proactive, the battle against terrorism cannot be won.
Okay. Thank you, Shola. Sheyi, now looking at the president utterance, do you see any hope in the fight against terrorism? Do you see any change apart from the way things are before?
Thank you, Khalil. I think, like I said the other time, 2015, when Buhari was seeking to be elected, one of those that promised was that he's going to tackle the security, that the Nigerians should just allow him to become the president, that he will tackle it. Unfortunately, this is what Nigeria bargained for. And now if Buhari now telling us now that issue warning to this terrorist, that they should expect a very toughest moment at this critical stage, when his government is just a year plus. By May 29 next year, the government will be over. It's just issuing a statement for sake. Because I remember the other time he asked the chief of army staff to relocate to Maiduguri. Them. What happened? Nothing happened. So I think just issuing, and like Badipon said, that Nigerians have completely lost trust, confidence in this government. That what else can you want to do? Before you came in, there was nothing like bandit. It was after you came in that bandits started, launching attack. S-men started their own. They added to the Boko Haram that we were facing before your arrival. So now, and you couldn't find any solution to it. And now, just 11th hour, you are now using that statement. And I believe with every modesty that those that will believe what Mr. President, they are very little. Majority will not believe that what are you not telling us that you what cannot achieve 2016, 2017, 2020. So now this 2022 that just a year to go. They are not telling us, even that year, I couldn't say any seriously in the government because they've started another process. So and once campaign starts, no government is already as good as gone. So using that statement maybe just to appeal to the to our sensibility, or to just to tell us that don't worry, don't lose hope, that we still do something. But let's watch and see what that toughest period will look like. That's my own take.
Okay, Shola, let's look at it this way. Can't we take the president for his word, going by the fact that his administration is running out? The time of his administration is running out fast, and maybe it occurred to him that it's not good for him to leave this legacy of insecurity before the expiration of his tenure. Can't we take him for his word?
Well, I don't believe anybody wants to second guess Mr. President. I do believe that, well, there are two issues, but there are two dimensions to it. Okay. You promised to secure Nigeria before you were elected president. You failed to fulfill that promise. It's a year to your exit. You are promising the toughest. Now people will ask, the toughest that you could not give in 7 years. Can you give it now? So those are the two issues, and they are very clear. You want to cultivate my father's farm, and you promised about 10,000 tons of tuber of yam. That's about 5 years now. You did not. In 5 years, you have not given me 10 tons. So the last year of your tenureship on my father's farm, you are promising me 10,000 tons. I will ask you, you have spent 5 years, you only give me 500 or 10 tons of yam. So how can you give me 20,000 now when you are? So these are the issues. So the security you cannot curb in 7 years. How can you now curb it in less than a year? And then let's look at the variables. The variables on ground. Do you see any ray of hope? Do you see anything that can boast, that can even tell you that the government has the political will, has a will to end this insurgency? Now, in the first instance, the borders have remained so porous. In the last 7 years, a lot of illegal entries. Nigeria has witnessed a lot of illegal entries. Even the agency in charge of, migration and entry cannot even tell how many people who are in Nigeria are actually Nigerians, or how many of them enter the country legally. So the government does not have all those variables to actually tell us whether it can curb insurgency or not. You don't know the number of weapons that are illegally possessed. You don't know. So how can you now determine that you will end an insurgency within 1 year? So, and all these things that have been there, piled up challenges unchecked. So, for instance, look at what is happening look at the power sector now. I remember that I have been reading the collapse of the national grid in the last 5 years. The national grid is collapsing. I have been reading about it. on different channels, on even media channels. Today now, the national grid is as good as collapsed. So now, if one is in charge of national grid, you have not fixed it in 7 or 8 years, and you say now you want to fix it in less than 1 year, who will believe you? So you have said something that shouldn't we believe Mr. President since he has 1 year to go? Well, that is the Yoruba will say, well, no, they say, okay, well, you will do it. Don't worry. We believe in you. They are just saying that, see, just let him just go. So the Yorubas have a way of just letting him go. That we endure, that what we have endured for 7 years and we did not die. We pray that we endure it within 1 year so that he can go, so that somebody who can fix the problem can come. No, it's like people now departing from the present and looking at the next. Departing from the present, that just let him go. We are looking at his successor. So it can be interpreted in 2 ways. You either believe the president because you feel, you believe in quote, because you feel, what else can he give? Just let him go. Or you believe in utopia. It's just one slogan in philosophy, utopia, a dream that it will come. So those are the 2 issues. It depends on which school of thought you are.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you, Shola. See, if you look at this utterance by the president, does it not suggest that the president might have discovered some new strategies to fight this terrorism, and I mean to combat this insecurity?
I think if you want to go by that your insinuation, I want to believe that should come from the security chiefs, the service chiefs, the chief of army staff, the navy, and the other service chiefs.
Okay.
And have something that they cannot find in the last 1 year. And they seems to be helpless. So now coming up, by the post said that people are just counting their days. Anyway, you see, we enjoy it till you come. I don't, because seriously, as we are talking, yesterday there was an attack in Castina, in the home state of Mr. President. So you now see that it's gone beyond just issuing state. See that at the actual field and just be issuing statement and you do this, you do that. So for me, I don't. If you want to see that seriousness, not today, not that yesterday, or that just gave us that statement. We have to have been saying it. It's not something that we just do overnight. It's systemic that we see that gradually this follow this follow this. Not that just don't worry. It's not that something just bombard let's fire on. It's more than that. Because the kind of war we have is a confessional war that you need to put everything together. Everybody, all the security apparatus have to work together to achieve that purpose. So not something just being the president. Yes, you are the chief of the how do you call it? The chief of the sorry. The chief security officer of the state, of the country. Yes, but nevertheless, issuing that statement, there are some people that will carry it out. So those that will carry it out, how are you faring to them? Are they well motivated? Are they well equipped? So we have to look at it from that angle. It's a one thing to give an order. Okay. It's another thing for that order to carry it out. And those that will carry it out, are they where we are? They are our brothers. We interview with them. We interrogate with them. We ask questions. We know how they are feeling. Yeah. So it's more than just issuing that statement. Okay. So those that will carry out those order, first let's motivate them, give them necessary support. Let's see if they will not do it.
All right, so you thank you. We go on short break again. We'll come back after this time out. Don't go away.
Mondays through Fridays, 3:30 to 4:30 p.m. in the newsroom. You can't afford to miss it.
You are welcome back. Now to the third topic of our discussion. Gentlemen, now 59 days after train attack, families of the abductees await federal government intervention. Should it take this long? Should the families be waiting for federal government intervention before the federal government should actually intervene?
It is unfortunate, and it's a very sad thing, sad situation anyway. And we have had a number of people in captivity for more than how many years now? Sharibu, Sharibu has been in, nobody even knows what has become of her. There are a lot of people in anguish, kidnapped and without any hope of being rescued. So the aggregate feeling is of despondency. We should be very, those of us who are not in that situation should be very thankful to God and pray that those who are there, God will have a way of rescuing them. There's one thing. I, Olusola Ajiboye, would rather prefer to live, would rather live for Nigeria than die for Nigeria. In fact, I would rather prefer to be at ease than to even suffer for Nigeria. I'm not being unpatriotic, I'm only being realistic. And America would prefer to die for America. When Othniel Armstrong succeeded after 11, I think it's not Apollo 11, after 10 attempts, there are many astronauts have attempted to, they have gone to the moon and perished without coming back. 10. It did not stop Neil Armstrong from pursuing it. He went and he was lucky. That's the journey about more than 30 million miles. He went. The first thing he did when he landed on the moon, the first thing he did was to plant the American flag. In fact, maybe that was the only thing that he did. The essence of my statement is that an American is prepared to die and to do whatever it takes, even at the expense and the risk of his own life, for his own country. He was not looking for gold. He was not stuffing his pocket with gold or diamond.
With dollars.
Or dollars. He was not. He never cared what happened to him. But he knew that America would never forget him. And whatever his family, whatever his children want, legitimately, they will get. So that's the beauty of nationalism. So you now have a lot of people in custody. In kidnappers there. After so many months and years, and no definite effort is coming from government that is supposed to be responsible for their security, for the security of every citizen. That is the greatest duty of any government, to secure the citizens. The American knows that wherever he is, anywhere in this world, the eagle eye of America is on him. Whatever happens, the America will not take it low. If you do wrong to any Israeli anywhere in the world, you can expect a backlash any moment. Just one. The America can deploy the whole Pentagon just to look for one American anywhere. So why would that American not want to die for his nation? So a train, a Kaduna, is it not Kaduna? Abuja train. It was ambushed. A lot of people died. Those who are supposed to determine the future of this country, some of them died just because they boarded a train. And up till now, those who survived don't even know their fate. and the government with all the complements of security systems have not been able to even fish out. And we hear that terrorists just walk into any government facility and do whatever it likes. Terrorists came from some kilometers away on bikes. They invaded an international airport and they went back. Have you ever had any of the terrorists been arrested? What has happened since then? So we just pray that maybe Nigeria will enter a new dawn where a government will see Nigeria as a project that should be protected, projected, nurtured, and sustained. That's my prayer.
Okay. Now, thank you, Shola. Sheyi, now, if you look at this scenario, 2 months after the abduction, is it really good to even be talking of rescuing the abductees? Now, 2 months after, why should the families be waiting on the federal government for intervention?
Like I said at that time, that the number one responsibility of any responsible and responsive government is to protect lives and property of citizens. But unfortunately, this government has never, for once, takes that to do what is right. Let me use this scenario as an illustration. My father died some 5 years ago.
Okay.
Up to now, I still miss him. Sometimes unconsciously, I just feel like, I think I have not called my father today. It just come from it. So I don't have one again. He died on a normal death. Not that he was shot or he was kidnapped. So now to talk of a family that his father or mother, children have been kidnapped. Some way they don't know how they are feeling, they don't know what is happening to them, they don't know how they are treating them. It's so saddening that I want to ask that even the presidency, because after God, the next most powerful what's it called is government. So I don't know reason by now that those abductees have not been rescued. That even the family has to come out after 59 days. Please help us. Before now, they ought to have been rescued, because government has everything in its care to look for these people and to rescue them. But maybe care attitude or those, after all, it's not my family or it's not one of my relatives, so if they want to die, they should die. And don't forget that we have many like that, So for me, it's a failure from the angle of government. Even it's so embarrassing that this family has to come out to tell the public that, please, Mr. the federal government, help us. We don't know what's happened to our relatives. We don't know what's happened to our husband. We don't know what's happened to our children. So, and I read that even the abductors, they have given an ultimatum of, I think, 7 days. If nothing is done, you don't know what will happen, maybe they will be killed. So it's so bad that we want to ask that, do we really have government? Because if you have government, if such should happen, yes, by accident or by whatever, it can happen. But once it happens, the government should take proactive step to have rescued those abductees. But unfortunately, the family have to come out that, please tell the federal government to help us to rescue our family. And they are Nigerians. They are Nigerians. They are one of us. So, and the government, we need to be proactive enough to, and not until something happened. They're going to say, yeah, we want to do. We need to have, get that information before it occurs. On a good day, what happened at the Abuja Kaduna trade ought not to have happened in the first place. If truly we have government that is working, government that knows what to do, the government that takes the welfare of its citizens, that to be the priority. But unfortunately, it happened, and since then we've not had anything. Not that the government has to come out. So sad.
All right, Shola. Now, these people has to be rescued. What will you suggest as a matter of strategy for government to be able to release these people?
I think it should be a kind of a clandestine security operation this time around. I think it is even the security agencies, they can even dress like terrorists. There are many ways to unravel kidnapping and terrorism cases. Maybe some security agencies will be trained and kept incommunicado, will be kept in a kind of a place and trained to behave, to adopt the life of terrorists. And they can also, and by so doing, they can get into the den of terrorists themselves. And without much ado, get these people, get these people arrested. So it's not only, terrorism is a kind of a guerrilla warfare. It's you fight terror with terror, and then but it is very important for you to be proactive, to adapt yourself to the environment of the terrorists themselves, and even be like them. Remember when Israeli commando, when they went to Israel, and when they went to Uganda, the Entebbe raid, a lot of the commandos, dressed, behaved like Ugandans. They had their agents, giving them the ground information. But when the raid, actually, a lot of them painted themselves in black. A lot of camouflage that just like the Uganda security forces. Before you know it, the security forces, the Uganda security forces, were taken out. And before the army could sort out of the house where he was having fun, where was having fun, somewhere, the plane had taken off, and all the refugees were rescued without anyone. So taking measures, taking anti-terrorism measures is so it's so complex and multidimensional. But there are two issues like that: proactiveness, and then the ability to adapt to the environment of terror. Those are very, very important.
Sheyi, what will you suggest to the federal government in order to be able to rescue these people, because they need to be rescued?
I think the only suggestion we have is also to join my voice with that of the families to appeal to the federal government, because like I said, federal government has everything in its control to get these people rescued and to get their doctors arrested. So the government should be proactive enough, pragmatic enough to get these people rescued. And I want to there's still need for those that are calling for state policing to take effect. It is very important. Like the person said that some people need to be trained in that particular field. So if in my own environment, in my own vicinity, if I should say if I see any strange thing, I will say it as people to identify and to alert the security agencies that are available at that particular point. So the only thing I would suggest to the federal government also is to try to live up to their expectation, live up to their responsibility to get these people rescued and bring them back to the family, because like I said, they are Nigerians, they are part of that. That is the reason why we have government to protect its citizens. So they should also do this for the sake of those that are in that captivity. So that is my own thing.
All right. Now, gentlemen, this is where we are going to round up today on our program in the newsroom. Shola, I really appreciate your comment today.
It's my pleasure, Kayode, and I want to appreciate the continued interest of the station on issues of national interest like this.
Thank you very much. Sheyi,
Thank
you for coming on the program.
I always really appreciate you for having me today, and I want to thank everybody. And most especially, I want to tell our people that let's be more committed, be more prayerful to our leaders. It's a responsibility that even God ordained us to ask us to do, that we should pray for our leaders. So let's continue to pray and for the peace of God to continue to reign in the state and Nigeria at large.
Thank you. Viewers at home, this is where we are going to stop on the program for today. Join my colleagues tomorrow in the newsroom. Until then, I am Kayode Adebayo. Bye-bye.